Hey travelers, Mag, I, Hoan and Musashi here on day 229 of our trip around the United States. Last night, after we got to meet all of the geocachers in the Los Angeles area between those two events, we slowed down to a nice, slow 5 miles an hour in front of LAX and booted me mom out of the car and rolled on down here to Long Beach to meet up with our friend Hoan. Hoan and I were stationed together in Okinawa all the way back in 2007. We haven't seen each other since he deployed to Afghanistan 17 years ago. So I'm very excited to be able to spend the day with him, and as such, today is really not going to be a geocaching day. I have vet appointments for Aichan, and we have a dinner date at Kokoichiban's, which is an amazing curry house that came from Japan, and both of us are huge fans from our time in Okinawa. Between the veterinarian's appointment and dinner, there are a couple of spots around Los Angeles that I wanted to check out. First, starting here in Long Beach with the original Zamboni, and then working our way up to Northridge at the Bat Cave that was featured in the original Adam West Batman. So we are going to get a little bit of Los Angeles today, but not the traditional Hollywood walk that you're used to seeing. So let's see what LA, from our perspective, has in store. Come on, let's go.
Our day begins in North Long Beach on the corner of Atlantic Boulevard and Harding Street at the finishing and starting point of the Long Beach's annual Veterans Day Parade. Having both served, the mural facing into Houghton Park immediately grabbed our attention, depicting historical images of Long Beach veterans of conflicts ranging from the Civil War all the way through Iraq. As we made our way steadily north, out of Long Beach toward Los Angeles, we passed several more interesting murals, including one that was right in the middle of being painted by the artist right there on site. As we have done in other major large cities, we allowed the virtuals to guide our way from one spot to the next. One of the more recent virtuals in the area brought us to Paramount Iceland, now called LA Kings Iceland in Paramount, to view the original Zamboni Model A. The original Model A was truly a work of art, taking Frank Zamboni 7 years to complete between 1942 and 1949 when he was finally able to get a good sheet of ice consistently. This invention practically transformed winter sports overnight by giving chopped up ice surfaces a fresh, frozen smoothness in just a matter of minutes. It's really funny to consider that the invention of the machine that changes how we handle ice for winter sports was not invented in a cold place like Canada, but on the warm, sunny shores of Southern California. We may not have found very many geocaches today, but that's not to say we didn't find any at all. In fact, most of the geocaches we chose to pursue today were rather clever in their design, often hiding in plain sight.
The dreaded nano. These can be real tough sometimes. The logbook in this one is in here so darn tightly that I couldn't even get my tweezers to pull it out. They bent in the process, so instead I have to use the next best tool to make this thing happen. But this logbook is coming out of this container.
In this game, it is always important to have the right tool for the right job to enable success. One of the things that I've always enjoyed about geocaching is that even in the most urban of settings, you can use the game to discover some of the most beautiful natural settings available. Coming north out of the city of Los Angeles, we reached our furthest point on our agenda for today at Devil's Canyon, just off of Browns Canyon Road. Reaching the geocache listings at the bottom of the canyon, although it does not seem very far on the map, is quite a long ways down to trek. All of us, whether on 2 feet or 4 paws, treaded very carefully down the hill, one slow step at a time. The closer that we got to ground zero, the more we could hear the sound of our goal just up ahead. The last couple hundred feet became very rocky, but we picked our steps very carefully, reaching the end of the trail to be rewarded with a beautiful sight of a waterfall hidden in this urban setting, just waiting for travelers like us to come and discover its natural beauty. After the strenuous hike down to the depths of the bottom of the canyon and back up again, everybody in our team was in need of a little R&R, so we made our way over to the North Hollywood Park. The very first thing that stuck out to us about this park was that not one dog that we saw anywhere on site was on a leash. Since I have always felt very strongly in my travels that when in Rome, one must do as the Romans do, we immediately unclipped both of our pooches and let them explore the park behind us. Well, that was the idea anyway, but with Musashi being only 1 year old, he was not about to trail behind anybody. He led the pack while Ai-chan followed up behind us instead. She took her time enjoying the many varied smells in this park that is obviously frequented by many dogs and made a lot of new friends along the way as well. One and all the dogs in this park, like everybody else, just seemed to love Ai-chan.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. This is your old friend, the Tick. My friend Nancy, who had the Pirate Project, told me about a great new worldwide cache hide. A doozy. It's all about superheroes. Isn't that right, Arthur? It's called Operation Superheroes. Not much to confuse there. And on April 28th, you can be part of a superhero awakening of geocaches all over the world. Go to Geocaching Central and follow the link to Operation Superheroes. There'll be full instructions on how to do it. Remember, that's at geocachingcentral.com. And also remember, crime has a bossa nova beat. Leap before you look.
Fear not, travelers. The departure of the Tick does not mean that the time of superheroes has come to an end. In fact, it is only beginning as we explore our way into Griffith Park, the site of the original Batcave used in the intro for the 1960s Batman TV show. To reach this iconic spot, it is just a short half-mile walk that is on relatively flat and well-groomed trails. The cave itself is known as the Bronson Cave and has actually been used in many feature films including The Three Musketeers, Flash Gordon, and The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But of course, we had no interest in this site for any of these movies. The entire time we were on approach, we heard ourselves humming the theme of the original Batman theme song, picturing Adam West cruising out of the Batcave in the original Batmobile. If you are coming to the Bronson Cave just to have a look inside the original Batcave, no problem. But if you want to track down the geocache located here, you're going to have to take on a little bit of terrain as it's located on the bluff directly above the top of the cave entrance. It is a fairly short hike up, only a few hundred feet, but you are going to have to work for every single step as the terrain is unforgiving and very steep. Be honest though, even if you are not searching for the geocache, I would still recommend taking this hike up if you are in good enough physical shape to do so. Because not only can you add a smiley to your map when you get up here, but you can appreciate the gorgeous views over the trails here in Griffith Park. On the rapid approach toward the end of our day, we made our way back into the heart of downtown Los Angeles, slowly meandering our way through the traffic until we were able to reach Burton Chase Park in Marina Del Ray. First opened in 1972, this park was named in honor of the father of the marina and longtime Los Angeles County Supervisor Burton W. Chase. The park features 10 acres of lush lawns and trees that invite a variety of animals to come and make their homes. And while we did enjoy seeing a squirrel enjoying a snack and a murder of crows flocking to a tree, nothing grabbed our attention quite the same way this group of sea lions laying out on the dock did. While most appeared to be enjoying the warm afternoon sun, there were still some that were playing around and having a good time out here. Musashi wanted nothing to do with these very strange dogs laying down by the waterside, but Hoan and I were very fascinated, just not nearly as much so as Ai-chan was. This was hands down the best part of this dog's day.
Alright, and that is going to do it for our day. We started our morning off near Long Beach and worked our way up, first seeing the original Zamboni, Model A, which for me was pretty cool. I love those little historical things. And working our way all the way up north above the city to get to the original Batcave. Now we're finishing things off in this beautiful view out over the marina leading toward the Pacific Ocean. Now, Hoan, Musashi, Ai-chan and I are going to go get some delicious eats, which is one of the great things you can do here in Los Angeles. And then tomorrow, Ai-chan and I will be getting back on the road once again, covering miles on the coast. But for now, we're going to be catching up with our friends for the rest of the night. Thank you guys for joining us on this tour of downtown Los Angeles and the area immediately around us. Like this video, subscribe to stay tuned for daily updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.